Hans Gruber. Hey everybody. So I'm going to be doing my Big Daddy review of the Die Hard series. And the reason I'm doing that is because I saw the Die Hard Honest trailer and really it got me in the mood, and so I decided to go for it. But first, I just wanted to say today I hit 50 subscribers. So thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it. I started doing this back in October, and I like the response I've been getting. I think 2016 is going to be a great year for me. I'm just going to go up and up and up. So, Die Hard. I mean, it's like the ultimate Christmas movie, right? This first one, I mean, it broke all the rules. You know, you didn't have the overpowered, huge, never gets hurt good guy. They tried to make it more realistic, normal guy. I liked all that stuff. And it inspired so many movies. And if you've seen the Honest trailers, they go through a lot of them, you know. Die Hard in a bus, Die Hard in a plane, Die Hard in another plane, Die Hard in the president's plane, Die Hard in a plane with snakes. That cracked me up. But yeah, so let's dive into Die Hard, directed by John McTiernan. And when it came out, it was a big surprise that it was a hit, really. And just like what Star Wars did with science fiction and movies in general, and what Halloween did with the slasher film, Die Hard did with action movies. So that's how important this movie is. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but nostalgia reasons, it is perfect. I love this movie. One of the things I liked is, instead of breaking the fourth wall like Deadpool, which that character is supposed to do, John McClane talks to himself. And for one, it's a way of getting exposition to the viewer, but it's also a good comedic outlet for the audience too. And it fits his character. You see sometimes in movies when there are characters that talk to themselves to give exposition, like on purpose, it feels forced. Like, why did you need to say that out loud? Like, there was no reason to say that out loud. But all the stuff that he says out loud, it really does feel like something that character would be yelling, you know. Just like, it felt like something you would yell in your car when you're in traffic or at a movie. You know, it's something that normal people do. And it doesn't feel forced. So I think the way that they did the dialogue in the script for how he was talking with himself was great. That was perfect. Plus, we get some really awesome one-liners. I mean, this movie has more one-liners than most movies. Actually, I can't really think of many movies that have that many quotable one-liners. And every death, he's got something awesome to say. You know, every time he kills a terrorist, it seems like he's got another awesome one-liner to say. I like that the brawls were dirtier, like grittier. You know, the action movies before Die Hard, that was more of just the Rambo Rambo 1, not so much. That one was a little dirtier, but, you know, where he's just shooting the gun, or Commando, or Predator, you know, just shooting the gun from a distance and then people die. But this is like really close up and guttural, you know, kind of like Indiana Jones, but dirty. And not like perfect fighting. You know, it's very street brawling kind of fighting. Like when they're wrestling each other, and he goes through the wall and they fall down the stairs and he breaks the terrorist's neck from the fall. You know, it's more of almost an accidental death, but he took out the terrorist. So I liked all of that kind of fighting. Now, I don't think they filmed the movie in sequence. Most movies, they film what they need to film in a specific location for the whole movie. So you end up filming out of sequence. So I give huge props to the costume design people, because John's character gets progressively dirtier, and you don't see any scenes where he's cleaner than the scene before. So they did a really good job of planning out how he would look in every sequence through the whole movie, and then when they film a specific sequence, what he should look like for that sequence. It was planned out perfectly. So huge props to the costume design and the production people. And that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, it's not easy. When he calls on the CB radio, when he's on the roof, to the police to try and tell them that the terrorists had taken over, I got really annoyed with that lady on the other end, not taking him seriously. In real life, they would have taken that seriously. But if they did, then you wouldn't get Sergeant Al. And Sergeant Al is awesome. I love Sergeant Al. So, because she didn't take him seriously and just sent to black and white, and Al showed up, now we get a cool character. And it lengthens the movie a little bit. He has to fight the terrorists for like another 15 minutes or so before the cops actually show up. I like the cool ways that he unconventionally uses items. Like when he takes the machine gun and he pulls out the shoulder, and he has it brace on the vent, and then he uses the strap to climb down to the next vent. Of course, then he slips and falls and has to catch himself. And then when he uses the fire hose around his waist to jump off the building as it explodes, which is it's an awesome scene. But he uses a lot of unconventional items, and they haven't seen that in very many movies before that either. I thought it was very smart of John McTiernan and the writers to have that in there, and I'm sure that was in the book. So huge props to that author. Who was the author? It was Roderick Thorpe did the novel. So good job, Roderick. And Jeb Stewart did the screenplay. Good job, Jeb. One of the things I liked, when Al is leaving the building and he's like humming the little song to himself. Nothing says help like a dead terrorist falling on your cop car. And his reaction where he's yelling on the radio and driving backwards and goes off the little ledge. That scene was hilarious to me. I laugh so hard at that every time. And when they got to Ellis, the annoying cokehead salesman guy, and he was trying to talk John into giving himself up, and Gruber shoots him. I was not sorry to see that guy go. He was really annoying. When I watch movies, especially when I watch action movies or slasher horror, or any horror movie really, if an annoying character dies, it makes me happy. That's why I watch Jason movies and Halloween movies. It's because I get to watch really annoying teenagers die. It's like, fulfills a fantasy that I won't do in real life. It's like an outlet. The annoying salesman cokehead got shot. Yay. Now, I was disappointed that the reporter didn't get killed. Although it wouldn't really make much sense if he did. I would have liked to have seen that. He was such an asshole. The barefoot thing. That makes me cringe so much. I would rather get shot or stabbed than to run on glass with bare feet or stump a toe. I don't know what it is, but pain on my feet or like fingernails, Oh, it's horrible. So horrible. I once got a splinter in my fingernail and it just went up just a teeny bit. And I had to pull it out. And just that, like, quarter of an inch, it was like excruciating. I'd rather get punched in the face or kicked in the balls. Just the scene of him pulling the glass out of his foot. Makes me cringe so bad. So when he got down to the 30th floor, and he steps into the fountain, the first thing that pops in my head is, oh, that would have felt really good to finally get some clean, cold water on the wounds on his feet. And then when the sprinklers went off, I keep thinking, oh, that's good. He needs a shower. I don't know why it pops in my head every single time. When he comes around the corner yelling, Hans! And he's got the machine gun down like this, and he turns the corner, and they have he's backlit, and then the sparks are going off. That is like poster worthy, epic, good guy shot. Like almost the rays of heaven were the sparks. The rays of heaven came down, and he was like, badass. Just badassery. That's badassery right there. And then it's got to be the greatest falling death of a bad guy ever. Now, I did hear that John McTiernan, when they did the slow-mo of Hans pulling the gun up like this, and then he drops, and the look of surprise on his face was because John McTiernan didn't tell him that they were going to pull it. Like, they released it earlier than he was expecting. And when they did that, he got the real look of surprise on his face, which is just crazy. Alan Rickman, when he did that, I think he wasn't very happy. You know, he was pretty pissed at John McTiernan, but I mean, you can't deny it looked great on film. And I just learned this in the Honest trailers. I don't know why I didn't know this before. Thank you, Screen Junkies. But this is the first movie Alan Rickman was ever in. What? That's why actors should do stage first, because his presence is so strong, and it's got to come from all of his stage work. Same with like Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart and a lot of these great actors that have really strong film presence, is I think because they spent all that time doing stage. So any future actors out there, work on your stage, become a great stage actor, and you will be an awesome movie actor. That's what I say. There's nothing that says I love you like rubbing the blood of terrorists on your wife's face as you kiss her. Every time I see that scene, I'm like, oh, he's rubbing all the dead terrorist blood all over her hair and face and giving her a passionate kiss. This is like all over her cheek and her chin and stuff. And then he's like rubbing it in her hair. But then the next scene when they're walking out, she's perfectly clean. So, you know, maybe the ambulance guys, EMPs, came out and cleaned her up. I don't know. But they didn't go into a hospital. So the epic Sergeant Al moment when he shoots the last terrorist, I really like the epicness of it. You know, he shoots him, and then they have the camera move of the gun slowly coming down with the super awesome epic hero music going on, and then you see Al. I love that scene, though, just the way that it was shot and the music in it and everything. It's very over the top, like over the top, but so awesome I don't care. And at the end of the movie, McClane is so badass he doesn't need an ambulance. All he needs to do is drive off the camera in a limo. I mean, it's a little thing, but I love it. It just, I don't know, it heightens his character a little bit. I don't need an ambulance. I'll have my limo driver take me to the hospital. I'm assuming he's going to the hospital because he's going to need stitches on his foot after that. Now, having it be a Christmas movie, I think, was really smart. Not only did it add a lot of tone and atmosphere to the film, because you had all Christmas everywhere, but you get to use all of that great orchestral music from that we use for the Christmas and holiday times. And it somehow fits so well into the movie. The action scenes and everything, you have all of this huge orchestral Christmas music. And I think that's why they stuck with the Christmas theme for Die Harder, the second one, which I will review next. But what did you guys think? What are the things that you liked, didn't like about Die Hard? Put it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you like my review, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you guys on the next video.